What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another late night, another film to watch. Pardon the somewhat long break, but I thought a good movie to return to, or director, for this extended break would be Stanley Kubrick. The Killing is what we're going to be watching. 1956, one of his earlier pictures, considered a heist film, a noir as well. Don't know actually any of the actors in the picture, which I guess is sort of relative to how the early age at which he made this, and in terms of a heist film being a heist film, there just no need for seasoned actors. But excited to get into this one and hopefully to get back into a sort of regular, consistent routine. Actually, I'll do more than hope for. I'll try to do it as much as I can. But without any further delay, it's good to be back. And yeah, Captain, we are a go.
Nevertheless, he had a $5 win bet on every horse in the fifth race. He knew, of course, that this rather unique system of betting would more than likely result in a loss, but he didn't care.
So that's quite an opening. I'm assuming the sort of extended sequence for getting the horses ready, the angles that he took, it all just started at the right time where the horses were going off with a somewhat ominous first theme score, shall we say, and to be followed by, I would guess, like a radio jockey narration that has no sort of intention for emotion. It's just very monotone, passionless. So yeah, interesting first bit to introduce the story. Tremendous camera pan, and what a way to follow the horses.
I pay you the $2,600 within the next 2 weeks.
Plus $400, a total of $3,000. The extra interest, of course. I trust that'll be satisfactory.
One thing to tell a police officer to take care of themselves. It's this rather corrupt first few minutes. Seeing these corrupt characters get into the idea of money earned or money owed.
A half an hour earlier, at approximately 6:30, Mike O'Reilly, the track bartender, came home.
Ruthie, I'm home.
It's tracking backwards to reasons why all of these men should attempt to get together. One being they all need some sort of capital. Their life is at some sort of peril, if you can say, and so it leads them to this heist and this place to be.
She was calling him Papa, and he was calling her Mama.
And the climax to this exciting story, the moral, the punchline, George.
Forget it, Sherry. Just thought I'd tell you about it, but I might have known.
Oh, I know. You want to bet I know? I'll give you 7 to 5.
Cut it out, will you, Sherry?
Well, tough home life. Tough home life. You might as well go to the 8 o'clock meeting.
You really don't feel well, do you? Are you sure that pain's in your stomach?
I'm going to have it, Sherry. Hundreds of thousands, maybe $500,000.
Of course you are, darling. Did you put the right address on the envelope when you sent it to the North Pole?
Go ahead and lie.
Oh,
Wait,
boy. Razor sharp dialogue. What a couple.
I could tell you a little bit about it, I guess. Well, most of it. You have to promise to keep quiet.
Why, of course, darling.
That was the one second of sincerity she had. Well, of course.
You mean he seriously told you that he and Samar were gonna knock over the racetrack?
And you can believe him, Val, because George may be a fool, but he's not a liar.
The guy's crazy. That's never been done before.
Boy, that's one way to quickly tattletale on her husband. But who knows? This Val dude might actually join in on the whole action.
We gotta find out more about the overall plan. You think he'll tell you any more?
Not a chance. I could see he was scared stiff because he talked as much as he did.
So already the plan is to a small degree compromised, because somebody outside knows.
2 men stay in it. One at the wheel, the other at a machine gun in the turret. 2 others enter the office to collect the dough. They're armed, of course, and so are the track detectives who cover them from the car to the office and back. Now, once the armored car arrives, a stick-up is...
I think it would be safe to assume all of this was Johnny's plan after the 5 years of being locked up.
She must have found the address in my pocket. Sure, that's what it was. Thought I was two-timing her, you know. Running around with another... Of course, she's just checking up on me, John.
Well, that is a good guess, but then there's more to it because he doesn't know about Val.
You don't know me very well.
I know you like a book. You're a no-good, nosy little tramp. You'd sell out your own mother for a piece of fudge, but you're smart along with it. Smart enough to know when to sell and when to sit tight, and you know you better sit tight in this case.
I do.
You heard me.
That's a complete Freudian, or not Freudian, but that's the complete read on her.
Everything's all right with you and your pals now. You're going to have lots and lots of money, and
I've been thinking it over, Sherry.
I can hardly wait. How soon will it be, George? What day?
It ain't going to be, Sherry. I'm dropping out.
The fact that she's going along with the whole plan, well, a rather risky plan that could send him to jail if they were ever caught, it's troubling.
3 days later, at 10:15 on a Tuesday morning, Johnny Clay began the final preparations.
That was an interesting shot. I did not anticipate it through a mirror.
Would it be out of order for me to ask for what it is that you are willing to pay such a price to see me demonstrate my talents?
$2,500 is a lot of dough, Maurice. Part of it's for not asking questions.
Yeah, the less people know, the better.
A man sitting in a car, parked in that spot, using a high-powered rifle with a telescopic sight, should be able to bring down any given horse with a single shot.
Wow, from that far away in a parking lot to moving horses, he must be a great shot.
But what my angle is my business. And Nicky, $5,000 is a lot of dough, and that's what I'm paying it for, so nobody has to know my business.
All right, John, I got no troubles with you. I'm with you.
2,500 after the race, that's if he doesn't get caught. So he's guaranteed 2,500 to begin with.
I'll send the money in the butts to the boy. Thank you very much. Have a nice time,
From the outside, Johnny has a very, sinister expression. He looks enraged almost all the time with whoever he's interacting with. A permanent frown on his face, maybe somewhat from his 5 years he did in Alcatraz, but yeah, he's a formidable leader.
Your problems will be my problems. Whenever you're worried about something, like now, for instance, is it the robbery? Is that what you're worrying about?
Yeah, I guess it is a little. I have no reason to. I know it's going to be all right.
Oh, naturally, you'd be a little upset at a time like this.
Rather awkward table talk. You know, she could have prepared breakfast, but she's counting down to the point where, they can nab him.
I tried to stop him. I pleaded and I struggled. It doesn't matter, does it, darling? The only thing that really matters is how I feel about you now, isn't it? It is today, isn't it?
What a way to exchange secrets and throw a little bit of gas onto the already set fire, the small kindled fire between all of them.
I'll be back here about 7 o'clock. Keep away from the track. Go to a movie or something. See you later.
That almost reminded me of how Bruce Wayne and Alfred in what's his name? In the last film for Christopher Nolan's Batman, how Alfred really wanted Batman to see him in a foreign country with a woman. That brought back that memory. Let me guess, inside the flower box is the gun, or the rifle. Has to be. Okay, so that's where Terminator 2 got it from.
This time it's not just talk. We're going to be rich and soon. You're going to have a fine house and doctors that'll make you well again.
Of course, dear, but you'd better go along, Mike, or you'll be late.
Yeah.
It seems Mike is the one who's doing it with an honest cause, or can't even say honest cause, or we can say honest cause, but not righteous cause. And his wife is, not inquisitive, into his whole idea of being rich. So, I'm somewhat rooting for him.
What's the matter, Mike? I was just trying to do you a favor.
Those flowers are going in my locker. Then I'll know where they are.
They're all unhinged, and each, most of them, they've made these promises, and they're living and dying on these promises, shall we say. It almost seems like each one of them, they have a reason to do this, but something is going to turn out for the worse. I feel like Johnny himself has a plan within a plan to sort of escape with everything.
Well, that's funny. It keeps going dead. Now, I don't think it's one of the tubes. I'll keep fooling around with it. Give my regards to your missus. By the way, when's the big day supposed to be?
Well, gives him reason not to use it, right? His testimony that it's being wonky.
Oh, thank heaven, hurry, come quick, they're killing each other. I always knew they...
He just drive away. He has somewhere to be.
Earlier that afternoon at 2:30, Maurice was at the chess club. He was to be at the track in position at 4 o'clock, just before the start of the 7th race.
It's fascinating. I'm pretty sure Christopher Nolan himself also took inspiration from this, with how we're going forward and backward and present time to past time.
The horses are at the gate.
And like clockwork, starts with the bar fight. Johnny did say 10 policemen. Certainly diverted the crowd's attention, the police, so good sequence. Very smooth. Well, I don't know if he did. He did not necessarily say when he met Johnny to show him the guns whether he was a past veteran, but that certainly, tilted the conversation with the security guard.
The horses are approaching the starting gate for the 7th race.
Yeah, this really reminds me of a Christopher Nolan film. How we stick to the present, an event happens, then we go back in time, then we see somewhat the same footage of another character approaching the present.
Something wrong? You're wrong. Now be a nice guy and go on about your business.
Wow.
Sure, boss.
Now the security guard would probably be looking at him. He just created unwanted attention, but mind you, it was the 7th race.
At the head of the stretch, it is, I'm hoping, taking the lead by a half a length of the
His tire got punctured by there you go, from the hey, he didn't want to accept the luck. It must be somewhat surreal for him to see his plan, being executed. And then there's not many heist films where you get to see this up and close, the leader even being somewhat nervous, or what the stakes are behind the scenes. Very smart. So we're getting the narration of the horses running. Red Lightning hasn't been shot yet, so time-wise it has not come across that point yet.
Sure to hold all tickets. The stewards are conducting an inquiry into the running of the 7th race and will view the motion picture.
So now is the main point of the climax of confusion, shall we say, what Johnny intended for.
In the 7th race, however, jockey Danny Freed appears to be unhurt.
That is quite, just seeing how much money is going in. That's not going to be a light bag to carry.
All right, close it.
Now's the time for him to change his alibi. Not alibi, but his appearance. There you go. And they would be expecting a shot, but they will not hear it. It actually worked. He actually escaped. Yeah, I guess he knew where he was throwing it out as well.
The man identified as Nicky Arano, who allegedly shot the prize thoroughbred, was himself fatally wounded by track police as he attempted to shoot his way out of the track parking lot.
Fatally wounded, but not dead. Interesting.
Captain knows I was drunk, and he ain't a man you can argue with. So I guess I'll just have to break down, admit it, and take my punishment.
Yeah.
Well, not so bad compared to how much he's going to be paid.
Get here, we had to pick up the dough at the motel where I dropped it. There was a funny little guy named Joe Piano there. He runs the place, I guess.
He knows Johnny's not going to come. Most likely.
Everything else runs on a timetable till it comes to paying us our shares, and the timetable breaks down.
Exactly. His point was correct. Everything followed, as the narration, as it was narrated, everything followed exactly the timetable. Nothing too late, nothing too early, and Johnny won't make that mistake of coming late just to pay their share.
Hey, where's the jerk? Where's George?
The jerk's what?
That's rather a graphic ending. Very graphic ending.
It had been prearranged and agreed to by all that in the event of an emergency before the split, the money was to be saved by whoever had possession of it at that time, without any consideration of the fate of the others.
Ah, well, what a condition to have, conveniently, but he was just 15 minutes late, so he was going to show up.
I'm back here, Val, darling.
Oh, she called out to the wrong person.
I love you, Sherry.
George, you better go on and go. You look terrible.
Wow.
Anybody but you. Not a real husband. Not even yet.
Serves the title, The Killing.
Even though it's getting very close to flight time, I think we can locate the rest of your luggage. You could transfer some of the contents from this one to a smaller one.
No, sorry, that won't work at all. Now, look, let me talk to your supervisor.
Well, the locks to begin with were pretty shoddy, so if it goes through, baggage claim, it's definitely going to open.
Perhaps the gentleman's worried about the contents of the bag. Is that it? We'd be very happy to insure it.
More than happy. We'd be delighted. Now,
No.
if you just give me its estimated value and tell me what's in it.
No, there's nothing in it. I mean,
Estimated value and what's in it? $2 million from the racetrack. Would it be something if it just opens up and all the money just goes flying? Oh, the cart is gonna stall, it's gonna fall down. Boom! Oh, wow. Wow. And that suitcase has his name. Or, yeah, it should have his name. And his address.
Will passenger Preston please report to the American Airlines ticket counter?
Well, now the cops already have his name. They're already announcing his name.
Johnny, you've got to run.
What's the difference?
Back in the can. That's it. Wow. It's a very good ending, It was a considerable risk, yes, but It almost was too good to be true. Thoughts. What a delightful picture. And, the added bonus is learning and experiencing Kubrick's earlier films. I do not know if I had watched this without knowing that he directed it, wrote it, produced it, and so on and so forth, that it was his stamp on the film. The first director that comes to my mind is Nolan, because Nolan plays so much with time. Inception, I think The Following as well. I think Nolan's first film, somewhat of a heist film, if you can put it mildly. So it's very much within his sort of line of interest, shall we say, or themes. But this film was great. It was a true noir film within that category. Absolutely not a jolly, humorous moment throughout the picture. It's all doom and gloom. For all Sherry, the sort of archetypical sort of dame, shall they say, in the picture. Even when Mike was bringing the flowers to his locker, they questioned, who are those flowers for? Is that for a dame, a new girl? And so within this category of how men are, they're either the super tough, hard-nosed, blue-collar worker type of Johnny type, or you're a George. Sort of one more than the other. George is an interesting character by himself. The promises he made to Sherry, being double-crossed, going into this sort of deer in the headlights, shall we say, but at the very end he incites all of the violence, where if he did not come out and shoot, he probably would not, Val and his partner probably would not have done anything, because there would be no need to incite violence, and it would be 4 against 2, right? Including a police officer who probably had his own weapon on him. So, but George, you can tell throughout the film, people pushed his buttons the wrong way, specifically Sherry, and he had the end of it. I was trying to think what he was going to use that gun in the locker room for, but it shows that towards the end, where the distribution of money was going to take place, you still can't really trust any one of them, because they're all somewhat strangers to each other, besides Johnny sort of selecting these people, and having the contingent plan that if anything were to go sideways, whoever has the capital would keep it safe until a future date where it would be good to redistribute it. So everything sort of worked out in his favor to be in control of the money, to leave, especially when it went sideways. But if he only just got a better suitcase, or divided it into 2 smaller bags and put a little bit of rope to tie it, maybe the fragile sticker, he probably would have landed in Boston properly. But no, it's true to its genre. Very well written, directed. Everything is timed well. Everything is so exact. The photography as well was fantastic, particularly in the racetrack sequences, following the horses. The end sequence where George shot, and then it was from his perspective looking down with the music playing. Reminded me very much of Taxi Driver, when I think Travis Bickle shoots, and then I'm not sure whether there's a POV shot as well or whether it was a crane shot, but it reminded me of that. So certainly not a small picture, even though it was early in Kubrick's filmmaking career, still has very much of an impact, which goes to show you the character of Kubrick. Even though his catalog is not as vast as these other directors, the little that he has packs a very solid punch. So yeah, very delighted to have caught this picture. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. If you have anything to school me on, anything to add on to the experience for me to read, do add it in the comment section below. And until the next picture, stay safe and stay just look out for your best interests. We'll put it that way. And according to this film, be on time. We can all learn that. So yeah, take care, guys. What's up, you cinephiles? Thank you very much for making it to the very end. Me and Big Willie don't take that for granted. We really appreciate you. Now, if you would like to show your support to us, you know what you can do up here. You can smash that button, really just smash it. And if you would like to check out some more content, they're all curated by days up over here and playlists. So, you know what? We hope you're having a great day. Don't crumble and just continue to smile and be a good bastion of cinema.